Okay, I think we're recording. Good. Hi. Welcome,
You got a
welcome.
new hairdo today, Susan.
What'd you say?
You have a new hairdo.
Oh yeah, I'm just out of the shower. How it dries naturally.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Nice to have option.
We have a cat. Hi. Hi, Cindy's cat.
Oh.
Hi, Linda. We can just see half of you.
Oh,
There you go. Great.
I'm looking for a pen.
Hi,
Oh,
Joanne.
now I can see everybody. Now I can see you all like the Hollywood squares. I couldn't see you before.
Yeah, the Hollywood. What are they? The Hollywood squares?
Yeah, Hollywood squares.
Linda's wildly.
That's Linda clunking in her purse.
It's, hold on.
Linda's clunking in her purse.
In this moment, Cindy, I like it.
And joyful Joanne,
Yes,
and I'm
joyful
simply.
Joanne.
John and I are just over the moon. So, shall as soon as John's back. Well, let's let everybody settle in. John, I was wondering about starting. Linda could, yeah, good. Thank you. Good.
Were you going to say something, honey?
Yes, John, I'm wondering about just starting with people who are ready to talk about 3 actions that they've taken.
Okay.
So, who would like to speak about 3 actions that they've taken towards their vision?
Linda, I've muted you because you were clunking. You can unmute yourself anytime.
I'll start, Susan.
Okay. Thank you, Joanne.
Okay, so, well, the first action that I've taken is I've changed my mantras. I'm having a one-on-one call with you, Susan. So a big action is, this is my new mantra. I've done a lot with my creativity and my joyful characters. And so I actually made a list of everything I've done, which was like a lot of stuff that I never even realized. So that's the first action, was just like realizing that I've done a lot.
Right, and Joanne, would you share what you had been saying?
Oh, yes. I haven't done anything with them.
Yeah.
Right.
She actually, yeah, we identified that she said, I haven't done anything with them, and she wasn't even aware that she thought that.
Right. Yeah, so that's a really good action, is that I'm aware of that now, and I've changed my mantra, and I'm making a big, huge Post-it note that Susan recommended, and I'm going to hang it up in my office.
Would you
Like
say
a giant Post-it note that I'm going to color with magic markers.
that's wonderful, Joanne? Would you say the new mantra again?
Yeah. Well, there's 2 new mantras, Susan, but this is the first one. I've done a lot with my creativity and my joyful characters. That's number 1.
Yes.
Then number 2 was, well, these aren't really actions, but I think these mantras are really important. I also said, I haven't gotten them out there yet. Right, meaning I hadn't done anything with them. First I said I haven't done anything, like even done anything in general, and then I said I haven't gotten them out there yet. So Susan said I had to reframe and transform that statement. So the new statement is, which is going on a giant Post-it note, I'm creating ways to let my joyful characters spread joy into the world.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then in terms of an action, I'll just tell you, so those are like, I mean, I think one of those is really an action, because I've changed my mantras. I've changed my whole way I'm looking at this. And so that's number 1. And then number 2 is that I actually have taken an action where I, based on the list that I generated for Susan about what I had done, I have a logo that I worked on the past few months. And now I set up an appointment with a intellectual property attorney to trademark that logo, which I've been talking about, but I didn't do, but now I'm doing it. So that's
Got it.
action number, so that's a good one, right? Woohoo!
Yeah.
So I'm gonna trademark my logo for my people.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
good
see
for you.
thumbs up from Cindy.
Thanks, Andrew. And then number three, so that, number three is, I have organized, started to organize a little brainstorming session with sort of a cross section of people. Like, there's some people in my neighborhood who do these kind of brainstorming for companies. So that guy's going to lead the brainstorming, and then we're going to have some kids on it, and we're going to have some adults, and we're going to have some just fun people. And I'm going to show them my characters and what I've thought about, and I'm just going to say, what do you think? And they're going to write down everything they think.
Wow, that's wonderful, Joanne.
Yeah.
And may I just also offer that you're looking for positive support and encouragement. So give them, let them know what it is you're wanting to receive.
Right.
Otherwise, you could activate one or more critics in them that starts cautioning you or saying, I'm not sure I relate to them, or you don't need to hear anything like that at this stage.
Okay, that's a good, so you want me to say I want positive and encouraging feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, Susan. I like that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and there could be another time where you might choose to ask for more, I don't know the word, but more discerning, you might want some other kinds of input, but then you would give people that direction as well.
Right.
We had just quickly, we have Chrissy joining us en route, it looks like, from her iPhone.
Oh, wow.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Good.
Are you moving or are you sitting still?
I'm sitting still.
Good.
Okay.
Well, Chris, we were just hearing from Joanne and the fabulous actions that she has taken towards her vision. Joanne, did you have more to say for right now?
Oh, no, that's it, Susan. So those are my three. I think I'm
It's
just micro moving along and feeling good about it.
good. Yeah, you look happy, and I'm happy for you.
That's right. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Good.
So, who else wants to speak about? Who else took 1 to 3 actions that they would like to speak about? Cindy.
Yes.
I think this is fun because I haven't even had a chance to listen to the last call that we were bouncing in and out of. But Joanne, as you were talking, it came to me, what are the actions that I have done towards my vision? And Sarkano's one of them, but it's all kind of wrapped in the same thing. So one tangible, absolute tangible, which has all kinds of little trailers with it, is I sent in my application for the Moab Arts Festival that is over the Memorial Weekend. So
Oh, good.
first big show. I'm terrified and not sure how I'm going to do it, but I sent in the application because it was the right thing to do, and it's the next step. So it's a 2-day event, an all-day Saturday, all-day Sunday over the holiday weekend. And because it's a holiday weekend, my number one support over there in the car is busy doing her stuff. So I am sending out intentions to recruit assistants to help me in all the things that she usually helps me with, the setup, the taking orders and things like that. So that's a big step, and so I want to celebrate that. And I know there's a lot.
Yeah.
Already lots of ideas of what to show, what not to show, how to set it up. They do, like any event, there's a fee to get in, and then they charge you a certain percentage of your earnings. So trying to figure out how I readjust my pricing to make sure I get my value back, but also contribute to their cause. wanting to have an online gallery and all those kinds of things so that I can direct customers to that and just use it. My wish is to use it primarily as a showcase for people to get to know me, not necessarily to do a
Could
lot
you
of
speak
sales.
up just a little bit?
Yeah, I'll move closer to the microphone.
Oh, thank you.
So my goal with it is to kind of get to be known, not to focus on trying to make a lot of money at it, but to get more people to know me. So to let go of the fear of having to have X number of copies of something that I think might sell, is just to have one and then have a place to direct people to. My second action,
Wait, could we just stop for 1 second there, Cindy? You said you were terrified, and yet you seem very calm, very precise, like you really have thought this through. So there may be some terror underneath, but there's also a lot of focus and clarity. Can you feel that?
yes,
Good.
I'm breathing.
That's important.
Wait, I missed that. What'd you say, Cindy?
I'm breathing.
Oh, good.
It's the only thing that keeps me back down,
Mhm.
grounded. So I think I'd like to set the intention here to use Facebook as a place to ask questions as they come up from all of your different experiences. For example, Sark last time or 2 times ago talked about having a place fund my cards instead of me paying for them up front. So I have all these little pieces that I would like to tap into this group and who they know on how to do some of these things, as well as contacting people I know who have done shows to get their experience and expertise.
Good. Cindy, I'm just going to pause you for a minute. John, did you see the note about Sushma?
Yes, she's trying to get on.
Okay, so you're doing whatever you can to help her?
I don't know what I can do to help her, to be honest.
Okay.
She has all the information, so it's just a matter. Maybe she's
I
appearing.
think she's coming.
Well, it looks like Linda might be having some trouble too.
Oh, that's Linda Call. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Cindy, going back, I just love what you're doing, and I love how this is coming after the retreat where we're all together.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. We're together at the beginning of May.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you're going to be in a great position to do. So continue on. I just was struck by that.
Okay, thank you.
Sushma's arrived.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Sushma.
Welcome, Linda. Welcome, Sushma.
Thank you,
I
Susan.
can't see you. I've been having technical difficulties. I still am.
Oh,
Well, we can see.
Where are you? Oh, hi.
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 Yay.
Hi, Sushma.
Sushma. Oh. And welcome. And Cindy is in the middle of sharing the wonderful things that she's doing on behalf of her vision.
Yes. And
Fantastic.
and
Great.
While we're doing that, Cindy, did you take that photo behind you?
Yes, this is actually one that came damaged. It's going to become a new piece of art some point, but I should put it behind me.
It's beautiful. What I can see of it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm in the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's gorgeous.
My
That's
head's in.
beautiful.
Fabulous.
I feel like, Cindy, write down this name, HD Buttercup. It's a design store, but I feel like they need to know about you.
Awesome.
Yeah, look them up.
I will.
Cindy, are you continuing?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So the second one, the second step towards my vision is twofold. Is I am practicing forgiving myself for when I feel like I'm not doing anything towards my vision, or I make a big mistake like forgetting I have a coaching call completely. And the balance of the forgive me is the little black kitten you saw in the beginning that I'm training and surrogating. He teaches me to play. So when I've forgiven myself, he opened the door for me to play and release and go back to a place of joy.
Nice.
And then he's a good example of that. And then my third step towards my vision is in sitting with my inner wisdom in the where and the when and the how to support Chris in her move. And we've got some roller coaster adventures in that path.
You're breaking up a little bit, Cindy. Could you say that again?
Okay. The third step in my vision is in listening to my inner wisdom in when and how to support Chris, which is part of my vision, is not only to have my own work, but to support her and hers as we figure out how to weave ours together. And so we've had some quite adventures in doing that. But listening to that when I feel that call of I'm not doing enough for me, but is it right to be there and do what I need, what I can do for her, and where that balance is. So those would be my 3 steps. A movement towards my own work, a little spiritual reminder, and then support of Chris's work.
Yeah, one way to look at that too is that your support of Chris's work is for you, because it brings you joy.
Yeah, that's why it popped in as one of my 3 steps.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's great, Cindy. Well done.
There's a little Tal visitor. He's up here with us.
Oh, nice. Oh, makes me think of Jupiter. I had a big black cat named Jupiter for 17 years.
Ah.
Yeah, my fur husband. Now I have another husband.
He's 5 months old, and this is his favorite play toy. He just found one of my crow feathers.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, for Linda Cole and Zushma, Susan's asked everyone to talk about 3 micro steps. So micro.
Well, 3 steps, large or small, that you've taken or are taking towards your vision.
If you have any and would like to share them, and also people who've been here already, like Linda Salna and Chrissy. Anybody want to share? Okay.
Well, I'd like everybody to speak about the subject. So whether or not you have 3 things, I think it's good to stay focused on what 3 things do you imagine that they are? What 3 things would you like it to be? So great, Linda Salna.
Well, I just felt that I already stated what I was doing on Facebook and gave somebody else a chance. But one extra thing I'm doing, where I am right now, is I work out of some place called the Social Innovation Center in Toronto. And I'm here now in the boardroom because at 6 o'clock I'm going to be joining a new group of us that have expressed interest in, what is it called? Toastmasters. Oh. So one of the things that I've been kind of procrastinating on is getting together my spiel, because I just don't know how to speak in front of people about the subject, and nobody gets what I'm saying anyway. So I've kind of pushed that aside, but today I'm going to join and start experimenting with the topic with people that I'm comfortable with, my own peeps in the social innovation world.
Good.
Yeah.
You have a one furry animal who's been cheering you on. Just I also want to know, you look great. You look more dressed up than usual, so it makes sense that... Yeah,
well, I have a meeting here, and then after I was invited to an art expression workshop by a friend, so I'm going to that. So I'm officially downtown. I live just on the east side of Toronto, on the outskirts, so this is like truly downtown. So I had to look a little bit more dressed up, I guess.
So you're going to be a toast mistress?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know anything about it. All I know is a friend of mine through another group did some she had amazing revelations for a book that she wrote. And she did a lot of testing of her theories and ideas through Toastmasters. So I thought, why not try it?
Yes, and it will give you practice speaking. Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I have one big thing behind me, which was hanging over my head. I have so many loose ends, and the biggest one was this paper I had to redo. And I just felt like got it over with, and it's a big, huge relief. It's just like, now I can say I did it, and I'm, one more thing to cross off my list, but it was a big project, but it's done.
Wow.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
That kind of clearing the way lets room for, obviously more things to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fabulous, Linda. Linda Kroll.
Let me unmute Linda here if I can. There you go.
Yeah, I did it. Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry I was late. I was very frustrated missing the first 15 minutes. I'll listen and catch up. Okay, well, I have been very busy.
Yes, we can tell from your letters. You were supposed to breathe more.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So in the last 3 weeks, because it's 4 weeks today since I was told I had cancer, and I'm back in my office seeing clients, and unbelievably blessed and grateful and beyond words.
And some of the things you wrote were so beautiful, but I do want to underscore, 4 weeks ago, you were diagnosed with cancer, and here you are.
I know. It's a miracle. And I was thinking, I shared something with John and Sark this morning. Thank you for your feedback, Sark. That meant a lot. That I still haven't been able to kind of quiet the constant yearning to manifest. So in the last 2 weeks, I've probably signed up for 4 more programs. And now I'm in the point of trying to decide what to do with them, but they all feel relevant. One was Amy and Lissa's Visionary Ignition Switch.
Yeah.
Another one, what were you going to say, sir?
Very good one.
Yes. So I saw that it was there. And then Linda Silverstone's book proposal, how to write a book proposal, which I thought would help me organize my thinking. And then Lisa Sasevich had a $1,000 speak to sell program. And so I signed up for that knowing I could pull out of that, but that's there. And I did spend 20 hours last weekend organizing all of my insurance papers and actually sending out bills to people that are now sending me money they owe me. So that feels like flow. I got a letter out for Ariel Ford's project. I've got a newsletter that I'm trying to send out with some ambivalence about whether to do it now or not. I kind of wanted to get it out now because it was National Colorectal Cancer Month, but I'm recognizing it may not have enough of what I do in it. So I'm debating that this week. And now with Gwyneth Paltrow's conscious uncoupling comment from this week, it kind of unleashes everything I've ever wanted to do about compassionate mediation and reaching out to affiliates. So what I want to be this kind of breathing room is still, it's coming from more flow, but there's still this, I'm trying not to make it pus or fog. And there's a sense that I'm in a creative download where, this funnel of opportunity is here and I'm in this constricted place here. And how do I expand the channel so that it can download appropriately? And which one do I choose in any given moment? And there's a lot more joy to it, but there's still, with working 3 days a week and yada, yada, there's still the yada, yada. So in terms of my micro movements, I did the billing. I planned a launch for May 21st for Should I Stay or Should I Go, which will then lead to a compassionate mediation program and a self-led divorce program. And I'm finding and collating that I've done a lot of this work last year. It goes into hundreds of pages of copy that I now have to go through. And I need to do it for more flow. So I will take a breath and be willing to receive whatever it feels. Oh, and there's this sense of, and I know it's wrong, but there's this sense of, are you my mother? Did anybody ever read that book? Are You My Mother? It's about, did you ever read it, Sark? I'm looking at you. It's about a puppy that goes around to different animals. Are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother?
Yeah.
And I feel on some level, even though I know it's all coming from within, and I'm spending more time in the morning writing a prayer to God and from my inner wise self and trying to align with that energy and be a channel, that there's still a sense of who's my mother? Who's the one that's going to be the one mentor, guide, coach that's actually going to walk me through all the yada yada? So, all right, that's, oh, yay.
You want to talk first, John, or do you want me to?
What?
John, do you want me to talk first, or do you want to?
No, you go ahead.
All right. Linda?
Yes.
You are the mother.
I know that. I know that. That's what I said. I know that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was going to say your inner wise self. I mean,
know
you got such great material that you showed us from your inner wise self.
Yeah. Well, I have more to say. I want to acknowledge you for being more in flow, and I want to acknowledge you for being in a creative download time and being so happy to be alive and feeling even more that you want to share and being so creative. And so what I want to offer to you is you just need to make some funnel adjustments so that you don't go into urgency.
Exactly.
Urgency with a big U is one of your places that you go, and I think it harms you, you know,
Yes.
the way you present it. It's like there's a constant urgency. And so I want you to give yourself permission to realize that it's all divine timing, to make a place for the revelations to rest until you're ready to take the actions. And take the actions at different times. Everything is not now. You know, everything is now, of course. But there's a way in which you are applying that everything, you're already behind. That's how you present. Does that make sense?
Thank you. It does. It does.
Yeah.
And what I have to decide, at least, is there's a part of me that thinks I should let go of some of these programs, and another part of me that says I don't want to let go of any of them.
Yeah. And I think discernment and your inner wise self will be your guides there.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, just let me add just a bit. I love what Susan said. In terms of what feels good to you, you know, I mean, I think you could flow with all of these programs just fine, and do really everything that you're doing and more if you stay in a feeling good, flowing state. And then when you snap out of it or something happens that you're uncomfortable, then that's the time to really breathe and to step back and say, okay, there's what is really in a hurry here, you know. But anyway, it's your feeling. How do you feel as you do these things? A part of it, to underscore what Susan said, is sometimes it feels like there's something you're supposed to do.
That's it.
Yeah, and actually there isn't. You know, there's it's the whole idea is for us to create and joy, and the universe can arrange for everyone to get what they have and what they want, and no one has to sacrifice. You know, that's sort of implicit almost in what you're saying. Like, you know, you need to sacrifice because people need you or others need you. I don't know if that resonates at all. But that's where some of that urgency comes from. I don't hear it so much as a self-aggrandizement urgency. I'm so important. It's more like there's so much that needs to be done to help, is how I hear it from you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you all for holding the space for all my Michigas to feel loved and accepted.
Oh yeah, and you can mess up all you want.
Thank you all.
So, Zushma. Oh, you're muted, Zushma. You are now Zushma.
Oh, you're now unmuted. Now you're muted again. We're doing it at the same time. You go ahead and unmute.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Right. So that was my frustration at trying to get into Zoom, so I just put it under my name. And I'm here. Whoosh, I'm here. Right. Okay. So my three is a really big number for me. It's a really big number in many potent ways, which I will not go into for everybody, obviously, but it crops up all the time. But I've just realized that my vision is threefold, and it's really clarifying through this process with all of you. There's a thinker, a practitioner, and a maker, and they're equally. I have a compulsion to manifest all three in parallel, and so I've let go of the which one thing, which I really resonated with Linda there on the which one, and I've just decided that I'm equally all three, and different notes are being played off of me of the different sides, and when they do, I just need to kind of go, yes, I'm here, and play the note back. So that's kind of where I am with that. So coming to the question of the three things, what in terms of action. Now, what's really cool about this process, this question you've asked, is that you've asked about action, because that is my big problem. When people say, yes, and what have you actually done, Sushma? I'm like, couldn't I just write a poem about it rather than do it? I'd rather do yeah, or tell a story. So here you've actually asked for the action, so I had to kind of go, what have I actually done? Okay, so for my maker, the part of me that wants to make, I decluttered my studio of all the stuff that is not related to that. Thank you. It's really easy to kind of let other people put stuff there and go, yeah, I wasn't using that anyway, it's fine, and it becomes this kind of, disrespected part. So kind of go, actually, no, this is the place where the maker makes. So I've made a nice clear space. So that was one action that I've done.
Yeah.
That's fab.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. But then worked on my So the other thing I wrote, which was kind of because I had to have three, I wrote I've managed to keep my exercise practice. This is something I spoke to you about, Susan, about needing to do some physical self-care, or I go to my profoundly neglected baby who kind of then sabotages everything, and I can't dress myself. If that part of me manifests, then I literally cannot really dress myself. So doing this self-care in the morning is I do it for her, and then she's like, okay, I'm cooing and I'm happy, and she gets out of the way, and I can. So that's the action that kind of underpins all of the vision. I'm saving for the third one because it's the biggest thing that happens. And it's actually come from talking to John. I had my one-to-one with John on Tuesday. So I went for it, John, on my vision, which is to do with it's the thinker. Okay, the thinker part. What the thinker part wants to do is come out and do a piece of significant research, piece of groundbreaking research. And my challenge with that is, from a very early age, I've been told that I'm stupid, very, very unequivocally, in those simple words that even a 2-year-old can understand. And the irony of it is that I'm off the scale bright. My throat wobbles when I say it because I'm kind of trying to own that. So that combination is very, very messed up. So I wrote to a group of people, and I did a very, very clear analysis of their problem. which involved all the kinds of different things. It involved the national landscape of education. It was to do with politics. It was to do with the strategic alliances of the landscape of Britain. I just analyzed it all, and I said, this is where you're failing, and this is what you need. And that was the point I was at when I spoke to John. And after speaking to him, I wrote to them again and said, and by the way, this is the solution, and these are my skills, and this is what I'm going to charge to do it.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel, Sushma?
I've identified at least 8 different personalities inside me, and they are all so off the scale grateful that I don't have words.
Good. Well, I see this as just a beginning. It's a beginning for you on a new path, and it's a fabulous beginning.
Yeah.
Lots is going to come from this. Lots of good things. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sushma.
Yeah.
Just to finish, I have to say one more thing. It's important. What's so great about it is that it's going to impact loads and loads of children. Loads of children. Not just the ones I can get to in the classroom or the ones that might read my elephant book, but all children in all schools if it pans out. So that's really special.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think, Chrissy, did you speak up about 3 things that you've done?
No.
No.
We're ready.
Chrissy hasn't spoken up because she's so overwhelmed by the big things. She's not sure what to say about micro movements. I have a few thoughts now, though. Just
Good.
sitting here and being for a minute is good for me. So micro movements in the last couple of weeks, I moved my horse to LaSalle, and so that's kind of like moving my heart to the place where we're going to be doing equine experiential learning, and that feels like a huge thing to me. I didn't realize how much I have of who I am wrapped around where my horse is. It's very interesting to have discovered that moving my horse to a new place moved me to that new place. It doesn't matter about the stuff in my house or down in the corral or down in the barn or anything. My horse is in that new place, and therefore I am in that new place. Even though now I'm back in Idaho trying to figure out how to pack it all up, she's down there, and it's happening because she's down there. So I have a training class next weekend that I need to go to, and I realized this morning in a panic that I hadn't got my portfolio into them so I can have the final certification to be ready to be able to do this equine experiential learning with the horses. So that's going to happen by the end of today for a micro movement in all the macro movements of packing and boxing, and did I pack it here or did I already take it there, and is it in a box there or here, or when you're looking for all the stuff when you're moving. That's kind of where I am.
Yeah, Chris, I love it. And let me just emphasize that moving a horse is not a micro movement. A micro movement would be getting the halter, taking the halter off the peg. That's a micro movement.
Okay, I've done a million micro movements in the last 2 weeks.
That's right.
And many macro movements, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I heard that the place is gorgeous. John said you gave a little portrayal, you showed.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure how well it was turning out. I was very unprepared for my one-on-one call. I felt that I appreciate, John, that you are going to give me another chance to come prepared to a one-on-one.
Of course.
It was kind of a run down the hall and hook on, hi, John.
Sure.
Yeah. let's remember we're all doing micro and macro movements and all doing things towards our visions. And then our actual lives are going on at the same time, which all require things too. And so to have these gatherings and be together and have the one-on-one, somebody is, I don't know, they're chopping, they're doing some, let me close this window, but, oh, now it stopped. Okay. Anyway, well done to all of you. And we want to introduce a new adventure, because I think you all know that we're going to be away. You are our last action before our vacation. You are the last wonderful thing that we are gathered doing. And then we will be gone until April the 14th. And we all gather again on Thursday the 17th of April. So since this is a kind of a time to expand, we wanted to we wanted you to collaborate with each other while we're gone. So we have taken the privilege of matching you up. You're going to be in one triad and 2 pairs. And this will just be for this adventure, for this time period that we're away. So is everybody in? Are you up for it? Okay. So Sherry isn't here, but we would like to put Sherry and Cindy together. We would like to put Joanne and Sushma together. And we would like then, of course, the triad to be Linda Salna, Linda Kroll, and Chris. And what you're going to be doing is found on pages 3 to 5 of the Magical Manifestation book. And it's called The Acting as If Process. And I'd like to ask each of you to read that. And then schedule time.
You're breaking up.
I'll never break up with you, darling.
Susan, you're breaking up.
I can't do anything else. I'll never break up with you.
Could you back that up? Back that up, please.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. We can't hear Susan.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. She already left for vacation, I think. Well, let me just finish until she gets back on. Yeah, so the idea is to do the act as if process together. And that's explained. You all, I think, have that book. If anybody doesn't, just let us know. But if you would just get together and describe as if things had already happened. Are you back, Susan? No, she's not. Okay. We'll see. I'm expecting her to come into the room here. Oh, no, she's back. Okay. And anyway, yeah, while we're waiting here for a second, someone tried to get on while last Thursday and said it sounded like you had some problems getting on to the Over the Moon Zoom session. Do you know what happened there?
John, I think I know what happened is Linda Salner and I were on, and then you and I had our one-to-one. So because we had signed on to the same that link that you and I, the link, I don't know for sure, but when you and I got on, then Linda Salner and I got disconnected.
Yes, what we found out is that only one, the Over the Moon can only have one session going at a time. So what we were thinking is that for the triad, if you guys want to use Over the Moon, the Zoom session, for the individual session, if it's just 2 of you, then you could either use Skype or you can use Zoom on your own account. The only reason that we pay for Zoom is because you can only do one-to-one. You can do more than one-to-one on Zoom if you do less than 40 minutes. So even if you guys are just going to be on for less than 40 minutes, you know, just doing the act as if thing, you could use your own private Zoom thing, or you could use ours, as, you know, as long as nobody's trying to do it at the same time. but I thought I saw some things on Facebook that last Thursday evening, or 1:30 our time here, last Thursday, several of you tried to get on and have a session without Susan and me, and somehow that didn't work out technically. Was that the case, or?
Well, that was what we were trying to do, but I think that's because you had your session with Joanna. We got booted out.
Yeah. You and I met John at 2 o'clock, and Linda Solner and I were talking at 1:30.
Okay. Okay, that's it then. That's it. Okay. Okay.
And then I tried to set up my own account and see if Sushma could get on, but she said she couldn't. So I don't know if I had to email something to her.
No. Okay, now that makes sense. I'm sorry. I kept thinking in the evening. That's exactly what happened. That I had to close. I didn't realize that I was closing your session. If I had known that, I would have come on your session and said, "Hey, I need to use this right now," or done something else. So that's what happened then. Okay. So it is possible for you guys to use the Zoom account, our Zoom account, and just get on without any problem, unless one of us kicks you off.
Well, I just want to clarify. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to clarify that the triad will use the over the moon Zoom room.
Yeah, but anybody can use the over the moon Zoom room as long as you're not trying to do it at the same time. That's all.
I just want to hear you say that again, honey.
Anyway, so go ahead and finish now that you're on, and go ahead and tell them about the act as if.
Well, I want to talk about the excitement of the acting as if, because all of you are manifesting great things. And all of you will benefit from playing this game called acting as if. It's where you're going to be together with another person or in your triad, and the directions are very clear, but basically it's how I manifested John. Because I started having lunches with my friend Amy Amos and our friend Edward Yoga. Can everybody hear this sound outside? Should I move? I'm getting very distracted. I have a drill saw going on outside. Are you guys affected by it, or is it okay? It's okay? All right. I feel like oh, I know, it's a leaf blower. You guys, if I had, John and I call it a sleep gun. I would like to shoot him now with a sleep gun. He would just gently fall over and go to sleep. I don't understand why he has to use a leaf blower right now outside. Right.
We do that with drivers who are bugging us. We pretend to shoot them with a sleep gun so they just go gently off the highway.
Yes, but nobody gets hurt. Okay, so we would have these lunches, and we would talk as if the thing had already occurred. So I said, I have the most wonderful partner who's joined me in my business. We're writing a book together. He's really remarkable. I can't believe how easy it all is. It's the partnership I've always dreamed of. And I would take it right to the edge of discomfort. Like, in other words, none of that was true. And so I would take it until I began to feel kind of funny and uncomfortable, and I would dial it down at that point. But I would take it to that edge of like, gosh, what would it be like if I really had a partner that was like this? Well, Amy was doing it about wanting a second child. So she was saying, I love the feeling of my baby in my stomach. I love the idea that I'm going to have this second baby after all this time of trying. And Edward was saying, I want a fabulous new home. I don't know where it is, but he didn't say that. He said he didn't give a location, but he said, I'm having the most wonderful dinner parties. Anyway, as you know, John is here. Amy had her second baby, and Edward is in a gorgeous apartment in New York City having fabulous dinner parties. And none of us had those things before we began these acting as if lunches. So we want to set all of you onto this adventure of doing an acting as if process with each other one time before we all gather back together on April 17th. So are there any questions?
Yes.
Good.
How does this differ from the letter that we wrote with our goals for, the
Great.
thank you letter?
Yes, great question. It differs greatly because you have a witness and you have a supporter. You have someone, so you'll see this in the directions when you read about it, but the person is going to be asking you leading questions. Gosh, Linda, that's amazing that you published your book already. What's it been like speaking with Lisa Sasevich from the stage, or whatever it is that you've said? They will ask leading questions, and you will empower them to do so, and you might even take some notes. But you will have a conversation as though the thing has already occurred, and it adds power to your vision. Does that make sense?
Yes. So our part is to show up with the vision, but the even more valuable part is the feedback and the questions and the pulling out from that vision that each of us will be doing for the other.
Yes.
Rather than just how great it is and how wonderful, but more into the specifics of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so expanding, like I've come up with book ideas and program ideas that never existed before because of questions that people asked me in these acting as if games.
Yeah. Yes, Linda Salner.
So I didn't do my vision exercise because you had mentioned that because I'm not clear that best to wait. So what do I focus on?
Well, yeah.
Well, can I answer that, John?
Sure.
And then unless you go ahead and I'll chime in.
Okay, you could even start with what you did today, which is picturing yourself speaking comfortably in front of a group, getting a lot of feedback about how much they appreciate what you have to offer, things like that. It doesn't have to be a grand vision. It can be even something small.
Yeah, thank you see, every question helps. So please, everyone, never hold back. Because Linda, it doesn't need to be the vision. It needs to just be something you want to be doing more of that's in any kind of realm of your vision. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we just made Shari appear.
Sherry appeared!
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's good to see you.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, well, you're here now.
Yes.
We are just, John, I actually need to take just a quick break. Do you mind updating Sherry on what we're doing? And
Not at all. You might want to put on your noise canceling headphones and plug those into the computer.
Why?
Oh, that will get rid of the noise. The noise. You won't hear the noise.
Good point, but I'll be right back.
Okay. So we're going to be doing an act as if together. And I think you're familiar with that from the Magical Manifestation Retreat a little bit. And also you'll have the recording of this, of course, to listen to. And I think who was it? Sherry and Cindy. we paired you with, we're going to be gone on vacation for a week or two. And so in between time, one of the things that we've asked everyone to do is to do an act as if with a partner. And Cindy has been delighted to be your partner.
Wonderful.
Yes, and so she can also fill you in on this. And we were talking about, apparently anyone can use the Zoom room anytime, but what happened is I had a session with Joanne, and I didn't realize that we could only have one session, so I ended up terminating the meeting that she was having with Linda Salna. But as long as somebody like me doesn't come in and mess things up, you can use that, or you can use Skype, or however you guys want to communicate. I know you can figure this out, But of course, if you ever need any help, Michonne is available. And also, I want to also mention that even though we're going to be on vacation, we're still going to be responsive to any emails or things that come up. So it's not like we're going to the North Pole or anything. We just won't be having our session.
All right.
Hi, darling. I am different than you.
Oh, I will.
Strangely, I will be on vacation. My beloved fiance has indicated that he's open to emails and responding. I'm kidding, but honestly, send emails anytime you want, and I'll be responding starting April the 14th. John may respond before that. So it's I love that I came back on that note.
To save yourself.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
You're a star. What was it? March what?
No, it's the whole month of April.
Oh, whole month of April. Right. Great. Okay. Then we're early.
Yeah, you haven't missed anything. John and I are taking a fabulous trip to New York City with our wonderful book proposal and meeting with our agent.
Yay.
And also vacation, but it's a mixture of book and vacation. So we're seeing dear friends and spending time there.
You need any more testimonials on your program?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for, yes, always. Thank you. Thank you so much, Linda. I think we have enough from you that we can use.
All right, good.
But thank you.
Yeah. So that's our vision. I just want to make the book right now is our vision. That we're working on that, and we're actually doing the same kinds of things that we're talking with you about for ourselves. You know, we have to practice the same things basically.
Yeah.
So when is your PBS show?
Well, it's starting in May, and you're all invited to the studio audience, and it's so exciting. You guys all have front row seats and VIP tickets, and we really plan for you to be there. So you'll get a note in the mail about this.
Yeah.
So see, I'm doing acting as if.
Yeah, it's May. It's going to be May 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the book has to come out first.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Well,
So-
yeah.
Sherry, did you let Sherry know that she's going to speak about 3 things that she's done, tiny or large?
I have not. Go ahead and do that.
Towards her vision. Sherry, everyone has shared some version of 1 to 3 things that they've done. Would you like to speak?
Sure. What I've been doing is my inner self feeling system.
Good.
I think that's a combination of 2 things: your inner wise self and your inner feeling person.
So that's been the size of it.
Good. And do you feel like you're getting some experience with your feelings?
Yes, I am. It really is very helpful.
Good.
A lot. I feel like I spend time for me, and the rest of the day I'm not so caught up in things that I really didn't know about. So it just seems like I'm calmer the rest of the day, which is really great.
That's great, Sherry.
It's a good opportunity to plan ahead, to a lot of things that I do. I think I'm rushing into things because I'm not dealing with my own feelings. And so I have a tendency of getting involved in too many things, starting too many things, and not finishing them, and feeling overwhelmed. So the feeling system really helps me to identify those feelings so that I'm not, egg beating my life in more busyness. So
Good description.
those help.
Yeah, Linda Cole never has that problem.
You know what? I knew she was sent divinely to tell me that at the end of the session. I'm taking copious notes. I love it. Is that an egg beater? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah.
Love
Great.
it.
And so, John, you told Sherry that she would be paired with Cindy.
Yes,
Good.
happily so.
So, in the remaining time, let's have some what we call moon glow mentoring. I know we've been doing some as we've been talking to each of you, but let's see if someone wants a little more focused attention. We've got about 20 minutes, so we can definitely, talk to a number of you. So, who would like to? All right, Sherry, and then Linda.
I think the thing that is that I'm really am trying to do, in fact, acting as if is probably a really great topic. there are things that I want to start doing on a regular basis every day and to clear space for doing that. But the space doesn't always clear. And I'm not sure how to keep moving it where I have space.
Yes. Well, first of all, do you know that the space will never clear?
No. Maybe that. I was hoping it would just magically appear.
Well, but the wonderful news is you can create it. You can create the conditions in which you can create more often and more regularly. And it doesn't need to be every day.
Oh.
Sherry, I'm sure you've heard me talk about the 2 things to do every day. There's only 2 of them. One is breathe and one is pee.
Yes, I've heard that.
And everything else is optional. Yeah. So what about just being creative more often? Is that a definition that you could work with?
Yes.
Okay. And so micro movements, again, will be one of your, didn't you respond well to micro movements?
Yes, very well.
Okay. So then I would begin sharing your micro movement wheel. I would talk about it on Facebook. I would see if anybody else wants to do micro movements with you. And then I would take that into your acting as if, and I would talk about my life in a way that you want it to be. It's amazing. I used to say that there wasn't enough space, and I didn't feel that space would ever clear. And in fact, Sark reminded me space would never clear. Now I realize I don't need space to clear because I'm filling it up with my creative self and my art. And I have new practices that are nicely expanding to fill those spaces. And I don't feel that feeling of frustration that I'm not getting started or that I'm not doing enough. How's this sounding?
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the idea of a little bit at a time too. I mean, that's part of the whole micro movement thing, is when we think of space having to clear, at least when I do it, I think of it, I need an hour or 2 hours or something like that. And even if I just start with a little bit and say, okay, I'm just going to take a few minutes now, and get used to that idea that I have permission to take a few minutes. That it's really kind of almost a permission thing, if that makes sense to you, giving yourself permission to not do the other things that you are supposed to be doing or scheduled or whatever.
Yes. Thank you.
You can take more time, Sherry.
Okay.
You have more to say? No, I mean now. You can have more time.
No, I got my question answered, so that was helpful.
Yeah, but you did remind me of something, so let me just interject for 1 second. We have taught so intensely that we have to be responsible and we have to do, like it starts when we go to school. Nobody asks us, do you really want to go to school today? They're saying you have to go to school, or you have to go to work, or you have to do all these things. And we literally get trained to not pay attention to our happiness and not give ourselves permission to take time for our happiness. And that's, as you begin to focus, as you begin to do this kind of work that we're talking about here, it is extremely useful to be aware of when you're feeling happy, when you're enjoying yourself, and when you're feeling that pulled away from your happiness by some kind of obligation or duty or something like that, with the understanding that you can change that. I can give myself permission, even if it's just a little bit at a time, to change that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Linda and
I
Susan.
want to add to that you can be happy and productive.
Yes.
Because I think that's the other thing that hasn't been taught, is that you're taught you could be productive or you could be happy. And the two are never going to meet, and you might as well just forget it.
Yeah, because work means something you're supposed to do as opposed to enjoy, yeah.
Or it's hard, or you've got to apply yourself. And I think that really letting the two happy and productive be married to each other is a very powerful stance and very powerful for your vision. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
And you have a tail.
Oh.
Sherry has a tail. Oh, and a little cat head. Actually, when you and Cindy meet, there's going to be 4 of you.
Okay.
Two with tails and two without tails. So Linda and Sushma, did you had raised your hands, I think?
Yes.
Sushma,
Yes, I had. Oh, God.
Linda.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Is that okay, Sushma? Because if you feel compelled, you can go first. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, John, for what you said earlier, that you feel that where I'm coming from isn't from ego, it's from wanting to serve. And I do believe that's true. There is a sense, I think in 1998, I sent a query letter to Hay House talking about how spiritual divorce was not an oxymoron. And they had asked me to send back some chapters, and in my disarray, I never did. And 3 years later, Debbie Ford wrote Spiritual Divorce. And there is a sense of ego involved. There's a sense of, even my business manager today, in terms of putting in my newsletter about the telesummit I wanted to give, said, don't put it out there. She's known people that have stolen ideas. So there's some fear around having some of the thing, and I know in my heart that whatever I'm supposed to manifest will manifest through me, and it's all God anyway. But there is still ego involved. I still am trying to discern, what of my desire to create is to be of service, which I know it is, and I know as I've aged, it's really about that. But in terms of branding, coming up with a signature talk, getting on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all the rest of that, it's kind of like my daughter said when she was taking me home from the hospital. I said to her, I thought I used to want to be the face of the Love Summit, but now I'll be the face of colonoscopies along with Katie Couric.
And my daughter, that only lasted 4 weeks.
Exactly. Well, that's why I wanted to get my newsletter out, because this is National Colorectal Cancer Month. But my daughter said on the way home, why do you have to be the face of anything? Why can't you just take that we know we are prone to colon cancer and your daughters will get tested? So there's always this sense of, why am I doing this? Where's the push coming from? And how do I discern what's ego, what's spirit, what's guided, what's flowing? So I'll just put that out.
Well, first of all, I think you discerned it really well. You said in many ways, I believe this is correct, that you feel that you want to serve, but at the same time, you were very clear. You really would like to have written that book, Spiritual Divorce, and you really would like to get credit for these things. And you also want to earn a living. My thinking is, if it had been perfect for you to have written that book at that time, then that would have continued. And you weren't ready. And I also think, Susan and I are writing a book. Lots of books have been written on relationships, but we are having our unique voices, and you have your unique voice too. And the book that you will write about divorce can be either building on the other book, or it can give a different perspective. Everyone, can't hear the same thing. There are many people, you guys appreciate what we have to say. There are other people that would say, we're too weird, we're too happy, So, there's so many kinds of teachings. And you do have a wonderful, unique voice, Linda. And I have no doubt what you wrote about the compassion of divorce, I think would benefit many people, even if they've read the other book, and many will not have read the other book. They will be happy to hear it from you. Yeah.
So Linda, are you ready? Thank you, John. I really like that. Linda, did that resonate?
Yeah, very much. Thank you.
So here's my homework for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm going.
We all have can have a tendency to have, I call them the iconic stories that we use to stop ourselves. And I certainly have had them and still sometimes fall into the habit of it. But Linda, if you're willing, I would like you to revise and transform that Hay House story and never tell it in that way again. And I would like you to write the new version with the help of your inner wise self that gives the reframe of what you're doing now. Is that so that you're putting it to rest and you're giving a new story. You're changing that story, and you're not telling it this way again. Can you do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know it has a lot to do with everything John said about synchronicity and timing and flow.
Yes. I was about to say, I really like how John brought forward. I think you keep polarizing, am I in ego or am I in service? And we're all in both. I mean, there's, you want to teach, you want to uplift, you want to get credit for your ideas and your words. You also want to be of service. It's all mixed together. And I think that you don't need to spend more of your energy thinking about whether you are or aren't this or that.
Thank you. Both. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Both of you.
Zushma.
Okay. I've manifested a really weird situation here. Oh, God. Okay. I really struggle with speaking my own truth to anybody. So I am now making myself look at all of you and say this to you. Okay. I am really resistant to this whole program. Okay. I literally wait till the last second until my 6th reminder from Mishan before I book anything. The one-to-one, I skid in at the last minute into the call. So, and I know that there are people who would work 50 jobs for the privilege of what I have right in front of me here, in terms of the loving hearts of these women and these two amazing manifesting mentors. So I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then I just thought, wait a minute, I'm sitting here thinking, what is wrong with me? This is actually the point that I need to bring out for help. This is what I need help with. And I don't know how to ask for help. This is one of my biggest problems, that I have this extreme incompetence to take the help of this incredible bunch of people. And here we are at the end of March. And here we are 5 minutes from the end of the call. At what point do I realize I need help?
Sushma, you just kind of contradicted your own point, because you are asking, and so often I don't think you give yourself credit for what you do. I think the resistance is a lot has to do with the deserving thing. Do you deserve this kind of abundance? I remember when I first went into the stock market, sometimes I would have these amazing successes, and my body would vibrate. I couldn't, and then I would lose the money. You would have to go. I just could not handle that kind of abundance, whether it's physical, and in this case, it's emotional abundance, But I did learn over time, and I think you're doing the same thing. I think you are allowing more in than you ever have before. And I think you will do even more of that. I think you're on this new path that I said. And so, yeah, you will continue to have old feelings like this, but you are speaking up. You are speaking up, and you are not just.
I spoke up.
Yeah, not just here with us, but also when you went to those people and you said, I can do this program for you. And this is what you can pay me to do it. And I know you'll be delighted to do that.
Yeah.
So you are shifting.
And I want to speak about doing more things badly. So Sushma, I know that you have a strong perfectionist. So let's imagine what the perfectionist thinks you should be doing in Over the Moon. You should be answering at the first moment Mishan emails. You should be in every call early. All your pencils should be sharpened. You should have 3 actions that are powerful, and you should have tried every single thing in the book. You should be emailing with every person here. You should be sending us more emails. Am I getting the drift of it? Okay, so I want to tell you, I relate to this because I've had a very strong perfectionist. I have now assigned her to so many jobs. She's just busy all the time, so she can't work so much in my life. But I want to tell you, when I was getting myself ready to have a partner, I didn't quite realize that's what I was doing, but I started exploring being consciously single. I thought, well, if I'm going to be single, then I'm going to learn how to be wonderfully consciously single. And I took this this program, online course, and I paid for it, and I signed up for it, and it was people I trusted, and it was great mentors. And guess what? I didn't show up. I got overwhelmed. I felt afraid. I didn't want anyone to know that I wanted a partner because I thought they would see me as weak. Or I thought they would judge me. Oh my God, it's Sark the author and she can't find love. Look at her. You know, I had all these terrible things. So I did one thing in that entire program, and that was to clear the past of all of my grudges and stories about these past relationships that I kept retelling. I kept retelling the betrayal when I was 16, and you know, all these stories. I cleared them out. It took almost a year, but I cleared them out, and I know that was a huge part of my allowing love in. So what I'm here to tell you is what you've done already with your inner wise self has changed the rest of your life. So I'm just telling you, you need to get the perfectionist off the case. So how's that?
And you need to do it perfectly.
Yeah, it's going to be a dismount, you know, and not a 10 on the landing. Yes, quite. No, thanks. That's helpful. The other thing is there a way, the inner care, the inner feeling care, that's it. You see, I can't say it either, Sherry. The inner care car wash thing, you know, that. Yeah.
Inner brain car wash system.
That's how I imagine it, as a car wash hosing me down. Okay. I really, what can you do to make a person do that? Because I can see it's great. And when I did it on the retreat, you know, in that really safe, enabled, with lots of peers, it was wonderful. But I resist that, and I think that's quite key to me, not resisting it.
Yeah, and you know, since you're going to be with Joanne, you know, also you have us. I know we're going on vacation, but we're still nearby. You could realize that you're still in that safe, enabled place, you know, and carry that forward and just take one time to do your feelings expression. With part 1, it's 5 minutes, write your feelings down on paper. That's all. You know, I think you made it into a system in your mind and you need an hour to do it, or you need some other, you know, Sherry's getting a lot of benefit from this now. She might be willing to email with you or talk on Facebook about it. Sherry, would you be?
I'd be glad to. I'd love it.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To get some support so you don't feel like I'm alone and, you know, here I am not doing it. You know, honestly, Sushma, it's not going to take you that much at all. You're way more developed than you realize.
Yeah. And I was also thinking, Joanne, one of the thoughts that I had in terms of the two of you getting together, Joanne's started some amazing companies. And I'm sure if you get on that wavelength, she can give you a lot of guidance there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sushma,
You
I
have
just want to add that,
you all have,
that we're all in that same state of feeling. So if you see us doing it right and doing things good, I can tell you I don't feel like that at all. So you two are doing it. We are your mirrors just as you are our mirrors, because I see your 3 steps as huge, huge, huge steps. So
I thought yours were great. I just think yours, you know, you're so amazingly honest and clear and just exquisite soul to witness.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
well done, Sushma.
Yeah. Well, we have 10 minutes. Did you want to say some things, or does anybody else want to talk about anything? Susan, did you had reserved 10 minutes?
No, I didn't, my love. What I did was we were going to keep mentoring for 5 more minutes, and then we were going to have 5 minutes to wrap up.
Oh, okay.
But I like how you thought of me.
I would love someone to jump into the 5-minute void, because 5 minutes of mentoring is golden. So for those of you who are muted, or I would just like to say that everybody, go ahead, Linda. Yes, please.
I'll take away your pain. No, it's something that I talked to with Susan yesterday on my call, or the day before, because I don't have a job, I don't have a schedule, I just have a list of to-dos. I go through them and get nowhere and cross them off. I just don't, and you're talking about the micro movements, but I guess I need some help now. How do I manage that? Today I spent most of the day getting back to emails of people I promised to get back to. You know, I just feel like I accomplished something, but not what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, Linda, have you read the micro movement section in the book?
Not completely. I just looked at the wheel and.
Okay. How did the wheel feel to you when you saw it?
I didn't understand.
Okay. So that's good for us to know. The wheel may not work for you. You know, you may be more, you know, something more, perhaps more linear, or perhaps one micro movement at a time on a Post-it. How does that sound?
I don't have a problem getting started. It's just I have so much stuff that I have to get done. It's just that when I start on one thing and then I just continue it, then I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that. I forgot to.
Linda, what do you do? What's the most joyful thing that you do right now?
Right now, in terms of the work I'm doing?
Or anything in your day, in the last day or two?
Yeah, I go to dance class. That's joyful.
That's wonderful.
I make room for that, but then, you know, it's when I'm in my office, say, okay, today's an office day and I got all this stuff I need to complete, and I get through like half and I feel like I've done nothing.
Yeah, well, coming back to this whole idea of allowing yourself happiness, you know, it's so tempting. It's like, it's almost like I'm in school and I have all these assignments, so I have all these things I have to do. And you seem very conscientious, and you seem like you want to do the right thing and you want to do good things. And the place that I'm not feeling is the joy in it. Is there anything, because right now you don't have a job, so some people would say, okay, I have to put all my energy to getting a job. I can't be happy until I have a job. And other people might say, well, this is a chance to have some fun, you know. I don't have a job right now, so this is an opportunity to do just some easy things. Does any of this resonate with you?
Oh, I do a lot of that. It's just I'm trying to figure out how do I accomplish. I just don't focus on one area, because then the next day I might not be able to get to the other things I had planned because other stuff happens. So I don't know how to evenly spread all my. I don't know how to explain it. I just.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's a joyful path to me.
Well, today I got back to 3 people that I've promised to help in their business, which I enjoy, but it took me a half an hour to get back to each of them about what the process was. This is, you know, and then 3/4 of the day went by, and then, oh, I didn't book the hotel for San Francisco. Oh, I didn't call that person about my daughter's bat mitzvah. It's just, I don't know. I've got a terrible memory and I write it all down. I just don't know how to even it all out.
Yes. Okay. So I think a really helpful place, if you're willing to do this, is to focus on the side of the things that you do. You know, there may be 20 things that you don't do or that you wish you had done, but it sounds like there were a few things that you did do and you really enjoyed them. And it's the same principle as we were talking about before with Sherry about making space. If you keep focusing on, I don't have time, things fill up, the universe responds that way, and you will constantly not have time, and things won't fill up. You know, things will fill up. And the same thing here. If you keep focusing on what you don't do or what makes you uncomfortable, that will be very much in front of your face all the time. And it will keep you from seeing the things that you do enjoy and taking advantages of opportunities that would amplify those.
But what about the jobs that I can't you know, pay the bills, make sure, you know, those things have to be done. So I spend all my time doing the stuff I like, and then I don't get to the stuff I have to do. That's the problem.
Linda, if that were true, that would be, actually, you would be a step ahead. But I don't hear you saying, I do all the stuff I like. I hear you say, I go and I push myself and then I forget and I'm not very efficient. And you don't sound like you're in the flow. Actually, a really good step for you would be to be able to say, hey, I had so much fun today. I got about the same as much as I got done when I used to just beat myself all day and feel like I should do stuff. But today, I actually spent about 6 hours having a good time, and I know where the day went, and I loved where it went. It's a whole different, it's a permission to allow yourself, because there will always be things that will be unfinished. There will always be things that aren't perfect. And it's really a giant shift that I'm suggesting. It sounds like a small thing, but it's a giant shift to actually allow yourself to feel joy and not to press yourself to complete things. Because what happens, as you know yourself from your description, you become extremely inefficient. And you are such a skilled person. I mean, when you and I talked and some of the things that you've accomplished, you are so efficient. You are so skilled when you're in alignment. And then when you get out of alignment, then you don't remember stuff. You know, your emotions kind of block you. And so, and we all get out of alignment. And what I'm suggesting is a path to get back in is to say, it's okay, I'm out of alignment now, I'm not going to be very efficient anyway, so what can I do maybe for half an hour that's just fun, that's just kicking off? And often what will happen is when you allow yourself that, then you can come back, and when you come back, then you get your old efficient state, and those things that you hardly could get done at all get done very quickly. So. Okay. It's something for you to think about. It's big, because I believe that you probably got a ton of messages that you're supposed to do stuff and you know, and the whole work thing that we've been talking about, and the whole idea of just goofing off and saying, yeah, I know I have bills and I know I'm supposed to get a job, but I'm inefficient today. I'm just going to go and spend an extra time at the dance class or take a little walk or go skiing, you know. And when I feel better, I know that I will get back to work. And I know when I'm in the flow, I am so good. Well,
let's give you one example. I have to cancel my Visa card because I lost it in New York. This has been almost 2 weeks. Every time I go to do it, I forget. It's like, that's really important.
Yeah, and that's okay. And that's okay. You're not in the flow. The whole idea, the whole focus of what I want to communicate to you is the best thing you can do is to get back into the flow. Once you get back into the flow, canceling the Visa card will not be a problem. Until you get back into the flow, it's like walking through molasses. You know, everything is so effortful, and then you forget things, and at the end of the day, you feel like you slogged through the day. Again, just think a little bit about what I'm saying, because it may take a while for you to be able to accept this whole different worldview.
Mm-hmm. And Linda, I want to add that I suggest you blow up the description of Office Day.
Yes.
I think it's time for an overhaul of that, you know, because I think you sort of tormented yourself with that. Okay, I go skiing, I go dancing, I do, you know, clearly you do things that are fun. You tell us about the things you do that are fun. And I'm glad you're bringing forward the things that don't feel fun. And I really like what John is saying to you. And I also know that part of you that's scared to not get stuff done, that him saying that probably sounds just like crazy town. You know, like that's just crazy. You know, I need to cancel my visa and I need to pay these bills. But he's absolutely right. If you approach it, and I relate to this because I use my overachiever to punish myself to try to get stuff done. And I might even get it done, but I feel awful. I'm so crabby. And I mean, you know, I said I would sit here for 3 hours and finish this work. And now guess what? I'm in dominant resistance to myself, and I don't want to do any of that work. All I can think of is it's a beautiful day and why am I not outside? So what John is really saying, I mean, I'll just say it in a different way, which is to just pick the 3 things that are most bothering you or upset, you know, like, gosh, if these don't get done, I'm really not going to feel good at the end of the day. and see if you can find an easier way to do them. You know, see if you can loosen your descriptions of them so they don't sound so awful.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing more on this, and you're going to have movement on it. I know it doesn't feel like that right now, but it will.
And if I could just add one other question about the word accomplishment, if we can talk about that sometime, because that's a biggie, you know,
Yeah.
quote, accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I really encourage, we're at our time to
I know.
end, but I really want to encourage you all, you know, the triad and the two duos, to support each other in what we've uncovered here today too, in your acting as if. Linda, you could describe a different kind of office experience where things were easy and you enjoyed yourself and it was no problem at all.
Yeah, and I do want to add one more thing, Linda. Another approach, and again, any of these, whatever fits for you, is to make a decision. I'm only going to do 2 things today, only going to do 3 things today, and then I'm just going to goof off. I'm not going to pressure myself to complete a long list of things that could overwhelm you.
Well, I guess because yesterday I spent the whole day goofing off, so I have more to do today.
And you know, and that's wonderful. For you right now to get into a joyful state will be the most powerful thing you can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a way of telling the difference between goofing off positively and avoiding? Or is it just a reframe of the story?
Yeah, there's a difference because I don't know if I can describe it in the next 2 minutes, but maybe we can talk about that in the next session because that's really a useful thing.
I'll make a note.
Okay.
And so we're so excited to hear on the 17th when we come back, you're each going to be talking about your experience in acting as if. So you do need to complete this assignment and be with each other either on Skype or in the Zoom call. So I'm just putting an emphasis on that. And email Michonne if you have any challenges of communicating and hooking up with each other. Well, not hooking up, but you know, being with each other. And we will be waiting to you. And Linda, have a wonderful time at your meeting. Linda Kroll, I love what you're doing. Sherry, all of you are doing such great things. And Chris, when you see the replay, if you see the replay, and Cindy, and dear Joanne, and we're going to have 2 meetings in a row when we come back, and then we're all going to be together at our fabulous retreat home. And lots of things will come from that. So.
Yes. So
Have a ball.
see you guys in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whenever we see each other.
Have a
Bye.
fantastic day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.